Of Savannah Guthrie's mother has taken a chilling new turn as the FBI released disturbing surveillance images that may show a potential suspect lurking near her home. These newly revealed photos have sent shockwaves across the country, reigniting public concern and intensifying the search for answers. For days, the case had remained painfully quiet, but this latest development has brought renewed urgency and fresh hope that critical leads may finally emerge. The images, which were captured by a security camera at the front door of the home in New York, show a figure dressed in a deeply unsettling manner. The person appears to be wearing gloves, a face mask, and a backpack, concealing nearly all identifying features. Investigators say the individual was caught attempting to tamper with the camera itself, suggesting deliberate intent to avoid identification. Even more alarming, the figure appears to be carrying a holstered pistol with what looks like a small flashlight clenched in their mouth, indicating they were operating in low-light conditions. Perhaps the most disturbing detail from the footage is the apparent attempt to cover the camera lens using flowers placed directly in front of it. This act has raised serious questions among investigators, as it demonstrates both planning and awareness of the surveillance system. Authorities believe this was not a random act, but a calculated move by someone who knew exactly what they were doing and why. Within minutes of the images being released to the public, Savannah Guthrie, the well-known anchor of NBC's Today Show, reposted them on her Instagram account. Her message was emotional, direct, and filled with urgency. She wrote that her family firmly believes her mother is still alive and pleaded with anyone who recognizes the individual in the images to come forward. Her words struck a powerful chord, turning the investigation into a national plea for help rather than a private family tragedy. According to sources close to the investigation, Savannah Guthrie herself does not recognize the individual shown in the photos. This detail has only deepened the mystery surrounding the case. She is reportedly working closely with the FBI to ensure that the images and information reach as many people as possible. Investigators believe public awareness could be the key to unlocking this case, especially if someone recognizes the suspect's clothing, posture, or movements. While the release of the images is being described as a major breakthrough, it has also sparked an important and troubling question. Why did it take 10 days for investigators to uncover and release this footage? In a case where every hour matters, the delay has raised concerns among both the public and legal experts. The explanation, according to those familiar with the investigation, lies in the technology behind the surveillance system. The camera in question was a Google Nest device, and retrieving the footage was not as straightforward as simply accessing local recordings. Google reportedly had to become directly involved, conducting a deep search into metadata and cloud-based storage systems to recover the images. This complex process is believed to be the primary reason for the delay, though critics argue that such steps should have been taken immediately. Once the images were confirmed and verified, the response from NBC was swift and dramatic. At exactly 12:52 Eastern Time, the network made the unusual decision to break into its ongoing Olympic coverage to broadcast the surveillance photos. This interruption underscored the seriousness of the situation and signaled to viewers that this was a developing story of national importance. During the broadcast, producers asked the control room to zoom in on specific details of the image. Viewers were shown close-ups of the suspect's clothing, the backpack straps, and the position of the firearm. The hope was that even the smallest detail might trigger recognition from someone watching at home. At this stage of the investigation, authorities have made it clear that they urgently need the public's assistance. Law enforcement officials have repeatedly emphasized that some of the most significant breakthroughs in criminal cases come not from forensic labs, but from ordinary citizens. A striking example frequently referenced is the case of Luigi Mannion, who was identified after members of the public recognized him from surveillance images. He was ultimately located at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, thanks to vigilant citizens who trusted their instincts and contacted authorities. Inspired by that success, investigators in Savannah Guthrie's mother's case are now launching a broad public awareness campaign. Billboards displaying the suspect's image have been erected in neighboring states, expanding the reach far beyond New York. Authorities believe the individual may have traveled across state lines, making regional awareness crucial. In addition to billboards, investigators are now focusing on traffic cameras located throughout the area. One camera of particular interest is situated just over a mile away from the home. These traffic systems could provide valuable clues about the suspect's movements before and after the incident. Analysts are reviewing footage frame by frame, searching for matching clothing, vehicles, or behavior patterns that align with the surveillance images. Another significant development in the case involves DNA evidence. Law enforcement sources confirm that DNA samples are now being submitted by individuals who previously worked at the home. This step is considered critical as it allows investigators to eliminate known individuals from suspicion and narrow their focus. While some have questioned why this process did not begin earlier, experts say such decisions often depend on the volume of evidence and tips being processed. Former investigators have weighed in on this aspect of the case, with many expressing cautious approval. While acknowledging that DNA collection may have been delayed, they also recognize the overwhelming amount of information law enforcement is likely dealing with. In high-profile cases involving public figures like Savannah Guthrie, tips often pour in by the thousands, requiring careful verification to avoid missteps. Despite these challenges, the emotional weight of the situation continues to grow. Family members describe the current moment as an hour of desperation, a critical window where public involvement could make all the difference. The belief that Savannah Guthrie's mother is still alive fuels every decision being made, from media outreach to forensic analysis. The psychological impact of the surveillance images cannot be overstated. Seeing a masked figure with a weapon near a loved one's home is deeply unsettling, not only for the family, but for viewers across the nation. It transforms abstract fear into a tangible threat, one that feels disturbingly close and real. For Savannah Guthrie, balancing her role as a journalist with her position as a daughter has been unimaginably difficult. Colleagues at NBC describe her as determined, yet visibly shaken, committed to using her platform to keep the story alive. Her decision to publicly share the images reflects both courage and desperation, a willingness to expose her family's pain in the hope of bringing her mother home. Authorities continue to stress that even seemingly insignificant details could be crucial. A backpack, a pair of gloves, a specific gait, or even the way the suspect attempted to cover the camera might resonate with someone who has seen similar behavior before. Investigators urge anyone with information, no matter how small, to contact the FBI immediately. As the search intensifies, the case has become a sobering reminder of how vulnerable even well-protected homes can be. Advanced security systems, cloud-based cameras, and national media coverage are powerful tools, but they are not foolproof. Ultimately, it may be human recognition and community vigilance that bring resolution to this frightening mystery. The coming days are expected to be critical. With increased public exposure, expanded surveillance reviews, and forensic efforts accelerating, investigators hope the pieces will finally come together. For now, the focus remains on one simple yet urgent goal: finding Savannah Guthrie's mother and bringing her home safely. Until that moment arrives, the plea remains clear and heartfelt. Someone, somewhere, knows something, and in this hour of desperation, that knowledge could change everything.
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.